Hello, listeners. My name is Charles Scott, and I'm here with Charles Scott Jr.
Yes, how you guys doing today?
We're here again, and we're going to give you some good information today. We're going to talk about some of the programs that are out there. We've been talking about every week, some of the money that the state is providing for home ownership. And another important topic we will talk about is how to avoid foreclosure.
Yes.
For those people out there that maybe have problems with their mortgage, we want to get into that and give you some advice as to some of the options that you may have available to you.
Now remember, you guys can go back and look at previous episodes. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Just type in Tri-State Realty, Can We Talk? Dozens of episodes, at least 50 now. Very educational, not just real estate. We help people with their businesses and, other things throughout life.
We talk about the economy. We also let you know some of the things that you may do to, invest in properties, whether it's a multifamily, whether it's a single-family property, how to improve your property, how to get more value for your buck.
Yes.
Or you may know people out there that are looking to purchase a home, first-time home buyers we specialize in. And we teach a lot of classes. We teach classes, educational purposes, for some of the banks within the area. And we also teach for nonprofit, one of them being the Building Neighborhoods Together, Bridgeport Neighborhood Trust. We do a lot of home buying classes. And with these home buying classes, you get a certificate.
Yes.
A certificate is good for 1 year. And a lot of the programs that you have that the banks offer, they offer down payment assistance, they offer free money, but in most cases you have to take a course to get a certificate saying that you are aware of some of the, ways of buying a house. In these courses, they teach you financing, budgeting, credit repair, what to look for when you're buying a home as far as an appraiser, an inspector, real estate agent. And when I say a course or a class, it's a one-day event, and it's not all day, and you get a certificate.
How about this, though? You could take it from home. It's on Zoom.
Oh, that's right,
People
too.
think, I got kids, I got this babysitter and all that. No, you can go on your phone. I have people that are driving and looking at this class sometimes. But yeah, we teach the classes, and it's very educational. I kind of wish that these classes were mandatory before you buy a house. You learn so much. It puts you ahead of the average buyer. You're going to be able to see things on my level and say, oh, wow, look at that. I'm not going to go after this house because of this, because I learned this in the class.
So basically, we're about education.
Yes.
And today, like one of the things I wanted to talk about, we were talking about the foreclosure. Now, there's not a lot of foreclosures that are out there, but for those individuals that may be involved in a foreclosure, there's many things that you can do. And one of those things you don't want to do is to avoid your court dates.
Yes, don't ignore those letters that come in the mail. And honestly, I suggest people, if you haven't gotten a letter, check the ct.jud website. Make sure that they're actually trying to reach you. Some people may have, moved or maybe have a different address or a P.O. box. Make sure you're getting this correspondence.
Back when there was the COVID, there was what they call a moratorium, where people did not have to make their mortgage payments for a certain amount of time. And in many cases, what they did is they would take whatever you owed them and they would put it at the end of the mortgage.
Yes.
Or they would split it in equal payments with your current mortgage until you caught up on the balance, or the arrearage, they would call it. So there's different ways that they could actually help you. In some cases, they even had grant money or loans that they would give you so that you could pay for the back difference, whatever you were behind.
Yes.
So many of those things are coming due now.
And also, I was going to say, a lot of these houses, people don't realize, have gotten so much equity since the COVID 2020 that people are actually able to sell the house before the foreclosure and walk away with profit, at least some money to go into a next purchase.
Which is one of the things that we do call a market analysis. I would advise everyone out there to get a market analysis.
Yes.
There's no cost. It's free.
I was going to say, how much is that market analysis? It's free.
It's free.
But remember, we have to see the inside house. You can't just call us up and say, how much is my house worth? Because we may not know that you have a remodeled bathroom, remodeled kitchen, or you added something to the patio. Remember, we have to see it in person.
And when we look at the property on the inside, some of the things that we look for is naturally how many bedrooms you have, but to see if there's any improvements, if you've done any cabinet spaces over, or new cabinets, or hardwood flooring, granite countertops. And even if you have not done any of these things, the property value has gone up quite a bit within the last 5 years.
Yes.
So when you do the market analysis, it gives you an idea how much your property is worth. Some cases, people may want to do a refinance. They may want to get an equity line of credit.
Very true.
And remember, with an equity line of credit, you know, it doesn't make any difference that much what the interest rate is, because you're not paying on it until you actually take any money out.
How about that?
So it's like money sitting there if you need it for emergencies, education, improve your house, probably do your kitchen over, pay off your bills, but you're not paying any money payments back because
Nope.
you haven't accessed any of the money yet.
Yes,
So-
that was a very good episode we had a couple months ago. We talked about HELOCs, home equity line of credit, where you can access some of that equity as people have gained over the couple of years. Use it to start a business. Use it to buy a car. That was our car episode. Why take a loan out at one of these high interest loan places? I would say go tap a HELOC.
And in full disclosure, we're not attorneys.
No, we're not.
We're not, what was it?
Financial advisors.
We're financial advisors. We're not mortgage people, but we can give you an overview of how it works.
Yes.
And refer you to people that are very well versed in that field.
Yes.
We deal with mortgage people. We deal with quite a few mortgage people. All the major mortgage companies we deal with, and all of the various banks we deal with, and loaning agencies we deal with. And when you're looking at the different array of people that are out there, there's quite a few. Some specialize in different programs than others do. So
that's why I always tell people when they're looking for a house, they think that, okay, I've been with this bank my whole life. I got a checking account, credit card. Maybe I should go to them for a mortgage. I mean, you could, but they're not going to treat you any differently than any other person that walks in off the street. Why not come to a realtor and say, where do you suggest I go? This is my income. These are the programs I want to use. Remember, these programs have certain, specifications, and certain places do not always service these loans. So that's a good thing to give us a call about also.
Well, like I said before, we're talking about foreclosures. If anyone out there that you know of, or if even yourself, if you get a notice saying that you're behind in your mortgage payments, the first thing you want to do is contact your lender.
Yes.
And find out, what the problem is. See if you can arrange to have the payments paid. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people wait until it's too late, or almost not too late, but everybody, and I used to wonder why. And people say, oh, I don't want nobody to know my business. Well, when it becomes public, everybody knows your business.
Exactly. They'll put what's that sign in front of your house? Public auction coming up.
So you want to try and at least, call the person up or call the mortgage officer up, explain to them your situation. Because most people are compassionate, even the mortgage people. They don't want your house.
That's the last thing. People don't realize that.
It.
When you're going through a foreclosure, they get that notice, they hide the letters, they don't open them. Call them, because the last thing they want is the house back. They're not landlords. They're in the process of making money off the interest on the money they loan out. They do not want your house back, but they will recover that asset if needed.
Right. They don't want the house because, first of all, if this was the case and they're working all across the United States and they've got to go to court, now they got to hire a lawyer. And the lawyer's got to go back and forth to court. So they've got to pay this lawyer a lot of money.
Yes.
They don't just get the least expensive lawyer out there. The lawyer could be charging them $500-$600 for every hour he's working on the case. Then on top of that, they've got to get all the paperwork together. Then they've got to call you up. Then they've got to go to court.
And how about this? They got to worry if maybe some people who get these notices, they leave the house immediately. They might have a house that's abandoned. They have to secure the asset. They got hire somebody to winterize the house. So this is one of the last things they want to do.
Yeah, if it's a major bank and you got 50 states, and if they have 10 foreclosures in each state, that's 500 properties. They've got to wonder, is anyone living there? Is the water run in the wintertime?
Oh, yes.
Is it heated?
Pipes bursting.
Is the grass cut? What's going on? all these problems. So that's the last thing they want to do. All they want to do is loan you the money, make some interest, money on the interest, and have you pay the property off. So if it comes to managing the property and taking over the property, they don't want to do that.
No.
They'll work with you to see that you keep the property.
Yes.
So make sure that you contact them and make sure that you try and make an arrangement. Even the judge, if it gets to the situation where you end up in court, the judge is not going to want to take your property. The judge will go out of his way
Yes.
to see if there's mediation. When they send a letter out to you in the mail, they also send you a notice saying that you may be eligible for what they call mediation. Mediation means that you can sit down with the bank and you can try and negotiate a situation where both of you can come to a mutual
Yes.
situation where you can make payments, and then they don't have to worry about the foreclosure.
And like I've seen in the last time this has happened, when all these foreclosures started hitting the market, some of these banks, if you work with the right way, they'll pay you to move out, cash for keys, because it's easier for them to pay you to move versus the long drawn out, like an eviction almost.
Right, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Even if it gets all the way to the end and the bank ends up foreclosing on a property, they actually pay people
Yes.
to help them relocate. Imagine that. You may not have paid the bank for 2 years. They still will come in and give you money
Yes.
if you qualify to help you relocate, because it's in their best interest to help, because they want someone there at least watching the property, making sure it's being taken care of
Yes.
until they get the property back. They don't want someone breaking in, stealing the pipes.
No.
Property catcher. They got to keep insurance on the property.
Yep.
So the only thing we're saying is that there's many avenues that you can take in the event that you're behind on your mortgage.
Now remember, we have a lot of clients calling us. They don't realize sometimes you'll get a letter from some mortgage company that you don't recognize. Remember, when you got that house 20 years ago, your mortgage might have been sold to another company and serviced by another person. You might get a letter from Mr. Cooper. So if you see anything out of the usual, give us a call. We can most likely analyze it and explain it to you.
Yeah, I think most people realize that when you get a mortgage, many of the people out there that we're talking to, you might have started out with a bank or a mortgage company. Within a matter of a month or two, now all of a sudden you're paying somebody else. Because and you might say, well, why is that? Because banks, they're called originators, or the originator, they go out, they do all the work, they do check the credit, they send the appraiser out, then they loan you the money. Well, there's only so much money in constantly keeping in touch with you and sending you letters.
Yes.
and
Also known
waiting
as
for you to get
servicing.
back. So they hire another company to do that. And they transfer the loan to the other company that specializes in sending out your bills, collecting your payments. It's almost like if you were a landlord. You buy a property. After you buy the property, you're busy. You buy 2 or 3 properties, 4 properties. Well, there's only so many hours in a day, so you hire a management company.
There you go.
The management company then collects the rents,
Fixes
and
the
manages-
toilets, maintenance.
takes care of all the repairs, and you don't make as much money, but then again, it's better having 4 or 5 people managing the property or going out than you being tied up, and then there's nothing else you can do but spend 24 hours a day
Exactly.
taking care of the property. So you hire a property manager. Banks do the same thing with the mortgages. They'll go out and they'll write 1,000 mortgages, and then they'll have somebody else collect the money.
Exactly.
And send the billing out. And that's the name of the company that you get. Maybe like something like Select Portfolio.
Yep, that's
a
one of them.
company like that. And all of a sudden you get a bill from them. Or back in the day, it used to be you go to a bank, like maybe back in, they're not even around anymore, like People's Bank, and then they would give it to Countrywide or another
Exactly.
different bank. But the terms are still the same. Remember, if they sell your mortgage from one bank to another bank, nothing changes as far as your
Nope.
mortgage payment. It stays exactly the same. And all of the contract is the same. Only thing difference is it's just a different name on the contract,
Exactly.
that you're sending your payment to. And when you sign the papers, when you have your closing, they tell you right then that it may be assigned to somebody else.
Yeah, so they make sure that you're aware, because remember, you may get this letter in the mail and say, hey, I'm not used to this. I'm being foreclosed. I think we had somebody call us. They think they're being foreclosed by the wrong company, but you don't realize your mortgage is now with this company. You gotta make sure that you keep that. I'll say keep a file, keep all this stuff updated.
So if you know anyone out there that's having difficulty with their mortgage, if you know anyone out there that wants to know the value of their home, give us a call. You see the number right down there. We've been in business now, I was saying 38 years, now I guess it's
39.
39 years, almost 40 years in
Yes.
business that I've been in business. So I've been around for quite a while, and actually I have offices in Waterbury, New Haven, Bridgeport, and Naugatuck. So we're within the area, we know the area, we live in the area, serve on a lot of committees within the area.
And we see this every day. I mean,
Every day.
I would say call that number. There's no dumb questions. Call, because we see the same things happening over and over again. People don't realize if they would have known this sooner. Oh, they wish they did. They say, oh, I could have saved my house. I could have walked away with this much. I'm like, oh yeah. Just give us a call for a free CMA. Get the market analysis, and then we go from there.
On another note, there's a lot of movement right now to build affordable housing.
Yes.
Market rate housing. The United States, I was talking to a gentleman this morning, and he says, I've been in the real estate business. He was looking to buy a house. He's a landlord. And he said, I've been in it for 38 years. And he said, and right now there's more changes than ever before in all the years that I've been doing this. And he's right. Right now, the entire, real estate industry is going through a lot of changes.
Yes.
Technology has a lot to do with that. With the technology
Very
now,
true.
everything is high speed. Years ago, when I started out in the real estate business, we didn't have computers. There was nothing on a computer.
No Zillow.
Back then, it was
No Redfin.
No, I think the computers were those big red tubes and different colors, blue, pink, and you go in there and most people use it just to look at cartoons and stuff like that, and not technology. And it wasn't the thing that it is now, where you have all the apps and you can put apps in there.
Oh, yeah.
And only few people had computers back then. They're called desktops, and most of the time. So I remember, like I said, you bought them for the kids, so the kids can go out and play the games, Pac-Man and stuff like that. They were like
educational purposes.
little
and stuff.
educational things. You
Yeah.
buy a little disc that you put in there and teaches the kids in grammar school how to count and how to add and how to spell.
But now computers are in our phones. People have Zillow. When a house hits the market, the whole area knows about it now. Versus before, you had to go call the real estate agent. He calls another one, look at the MLS book that was printed that day. It's a lot more, I'll say, fast, more action-packed, I'll say.
Yeah, the whole industry has changed where in most cases now you could put an app on your phone, and the minute a property is listed, within a matter of seconds.
But what I would say, what we're seeing for our clients, more so than ever, when you get that app and look at that house, it's data overload. You see all that information? Give us a call. We look at that information, we can translate it instantly. As far as we say, oh, this house right here, what kind of loan you got? You got FHA? Well, we can't go to that house. I'll tell you why later. So it's a matter of give us a call. We can analyze all that data very fast. We look at these charts and these, I'll say, listings constantly.
Well, like you just said, most people, when they look at a property, they just look at one thing. They look at the front of the house, and they look at the price, and they look to see how many bedrooms it has.
Oh, look at the pretty pictures.
Look at that picture.
Pictures, I'll say, are worth 1,000 words. With this AI technology and everything, it's worth 1,000,000 words now. We have to see this property in person. No buying without just over the internet. I'll see what some people are.
So a lot of times people are disappointed when they actually see the
How
actual
about
house.
that?
Because you can computer generate the photos,
The furniture.
the furniture. You can take an empty house and completely furnish it in about 5 minutes using just a computer. You can pick up. You know how, like, when you go to a car dealer,
Oh, yeah.
they'll show you the car and then they'll say, okay, what color do you want? Well, let's see what it's going to look like in blue.
What spoiler you want? What headlights?
You start putting it together like a puzzle, and you can have it all pieced up and put everything together. with the computer-generated houses. They can take a basic house and
Yep.
put furniture in there, and they say, okay, well, let's leave with the dimensions. What size is your bed? Let's see if it'll fit in here, this, that. And you look at these photos, and by the time you get out to the house, you go, wow, it look different.
It looks a lot
A
different.
lot different. And the biggest complaint, two complaints I get from home buyers, especially first-time home buyers. Number one, the bedrooms are too small.
Yep.
They want large, expansive rooms.
Big closets.
Big closets, a lot of room, and when you're buying your first house, unfortunately, unless you got a lot of money to spend, you don't really get that type of house
Exactly.
because it's a starter house. You're just getting started out.
That's right. So start out first-time home buyers. We educate. We have a passion for helping first-time home buyers, definitely. But we make them realize, we educate them, like when you buy your first house, that's what it is. Your first house is stepping stones. The average person lives in a house for about 7 to 8 years. So remember, your dream home may be down the line, but guess what? The first house is always the hardest. The second, third, and fourth, you get more used to the procedure. You work with the realtor who you've been working with, and at that point, you have the equity you can use to move into a larger house.
And just remember, you don't have to stay in the house 30 years. The
No.
mortgage is 30 years. You can buy the house, and after it's worth more money, you turn around and sell that house and buy another house.
People don't realize, and that we've seen it. People have bought a house in January. That same house is back on the market in February. What happened there? You can literally sell a house. Once you got it, hey, put it back on the market. Maybe you can make some profit.
As long as you can pay off your old mortgage, you can pay off that mortgage, and if you can make a profit, buy another house.
Very true.
Some people, they buy a house and all of a sudden they got relocated to another part of the country.
Very true.
They have to sell the house. They even got companies out there called relocation companies. If you work for a corporation or a business and you have to move, then they will turn around and arrange to have the house sold for you and move you immediately. You
Yep.
may have to move to another part of the country right away. So they'll arrange housing for you, put the house on the market, sell it. It's all, one-stop services. A lot of things can be done that you have to be aware of. That's where working with a professional person, call us
Yes.
up. We can look at your situation. Every situation is different.
Every situation is different. I will say some people, when they start looking for their house, I've seen people find their house, their dream house, in 1 week, sometimes 3 months, sometimes a year. Everybody's journey is different, but what is important is to get ready. If you're not ready, get your credit up, get pre-approved, and start working for an agent who knows the area that you're going to be looking at.
On the other fine point, and which is a good thing, we talk every week about Time to Own.
Yes, time to own.
That's a program that the state of Connecticut has to assist people to help them buy a house.
And it's like I said, it's free money. We say this every time. It's money that is forgiven if you stay in the house for a certain amount of time.
So one of the things that you probably, if you have to not be and say, how can it, in the country or watch TV or the radio, to know that right now the entire United States is going through a housing crunch.
Yes.
People are having difficulty with the rental increase going up. Also, the selling of the amount of homes on the market has decreased.
Inventory is very low right now because if you see, it's different this time around. People thought, I've been hearing about this house crash for about 3 years now, but you realize you can't crash something when there's not enough inventory. Right now, they didn't build enough houses between 2010 and 2017, so we're having the results of that, and now we have the higher interest rates also.
Well, when you talk about interest rates, I spoke to a gentleman this morning, and he gets it. He really gets it because he was looking to buy a house. And, he was saying, well, what do you think about the real estate market right now? He says, I've been telling my cousin to buy a house right now. He said, and the cousin was saying, well, the interest rates have gone up a little bit. And I told him, look, if you can afford to buy right now, buy what he said. I remember, and this is what he was telling me. I remember in 1980, he said,
Oh, there we
when
go.
the interest rates were high, and I bought a house. He said it was the best investment that I made. He said, what people do not realize, and this is what made me think, this guy gets it, is that if the interest rates come down, you got all these people that are sitting on the sidelines that are going to rush into the real estate market, and that's going to make the prices skyrocket.
Exactly.
The prices are going to go up. I said, you're 100% right. I said, that's exactly what's going to happen. Right now, you have a lot of people that have not bought They're waiting, so when they come into the market, now all the prices are gonna shoot up. So do not expect the prices to come down and the interest rates to come down at the same time. One comes down, the other goes up.
It's like a reverse action where the interest rates go down, you start seeing bidding wars. People start offering more because remember, now the money is cheaper. They can be pre-approved for more money, and they're going to spend that money. That's why I see people do. They get pre-approved for $400,000. The house has to be $399,900.
They don't even leave a dime on the table.
They don't leave a dime on the
They
table.
want to spend, and don't get caught up into that.
Yeah.
You know, if you go and you get pre-qualified for a mortgage, and if your mortgage is, let's say, $300,000 or $350,000, think, yes, the bank is saying you can qualify for that much, but it's up to you. Remember, it has to be paid back.
Yes.
It's not like you can you could spend every penny, but you don't really. You want to think, well, okay, I want my mortgage payment to be a certain amount. And I still want to be able to go out and eat. I still want to be able to pay my other bills. I still want to take my vacation. I still want to make my car payment. So just because the banks will say that you qualify for all of the amount of money, that doesn't mean you have to spend all of the money.
Some people treat it like a charge card. I'm going to max out this pre-approval.
I'm just gonna spend
I
every
got to
penny I
spend the
can.
entire thing. And this is a good question. We get asked this numerous times per year. If let's say you get pre-approved for $400,000 and you buy a house for $350,000, you do not get that extra $50,000 from the bank.
I was going to come up with that.
That's the question we get constantly.
Do I get the extra money? No.
To fix the house up, move my
No.
furniture? No, you do not. But remember, when you get pre-approved for $400,000, $300,000, whatever it may be, you don't have to spend the whole amount. You can still look for houses that are cheaper, I would say.
Yeah. Look for something that can fit into your budget. The bank is just saying that based upon the debt-to-income ratio, if you max every single thing out, you'll be able to pay right to the penny that amount. But it's
Exactly.
up to you to decide how much money you want to spend. You just can't go over that amount. If they say you qualify for $350,000, you can't go spend $375,000.
Exactly. And also, I was going to tell people, we get this loud. Also, you should leave some room. Let's say you get pre-approved for $300,000. Look for those houses around $250,000, $260,000. Remember, we may run into issues where there's solar panels on the house. There's other things that come with the house.
May need a
that
flood insurance.
May need a flood insurance. So you're going to need that extra cushion, that extra room on the loan to, calculate for that.
So mainly, we want to just let you know, if you're looking to purchase a home, give us a call.
Definitely.
We can come out, we can talk to you.
Or if you just have a question, give us a call. Any first-time home buyer questions, we're here.
Give us a call. If you're looking to sell a house, you may be relocating to another part of the country. Maybe the house is too big. Maybe your children have gone off to college. You no longer need the big house with all the bedrooms.
Yes.
You want to downsize. Have some people that are downsized from a big house into just a condo.
Very true.
They want to retire and enjoy life. If you're out there and you want to enjoy life and retire and have a smaller house and get rid of the big house and all of the taxes and insurance and snow and cutting the grass.
Oh, yeah, all the maintenance.
All the maintenance, give us a call and we can take care of that for you also.
Yes.
So until next week, God bless.
Amen.